Besides the 2022 bear market lows, now is one of the best times to be focused on these types of projects. HBAR is one that continues to shine, and it feels as though everyone is still continuing to ignore it, even though it has had a tremendous year. We are definitely going to be talking about it, but I also want to address how one specific market category could push HBAR to new all-time highs. So with that being said, welcome to the channel, everyone. My name is Nick. For those that are new to the channel, hopefully by the end of this video, you do become a subscriber. So let's take a quick look at a few things. Let's actually address Hedera right now. In the last month, we did have a tremendous rise up to about almost 40 cents on this chart from sub 5 cents, which was incredible to see. Again, HBAR was one of those projects that I have been talking about for a very long time, all throughout the bear market lows, all the way up until we had this nice move. And now, if we look at the last 1 month, we are chopping and consolidating sideways, waiting for something to happen. Now, in my opinion, 2025 is going to be a very bullish year for crypto, specifically for a lot of these utility projects like HBAR. And in this video, I want to address one piece of this market that is going to surge HBAR's value. And we're not just talking about DeFi, but if we were talking about DeFi, then yes, that is also another sector of this space that is causing a lot of hype around Hedera. Let's just be honest, because if we look at this over here, we could see from SushiSwap Labs, new milestone. SushiSwap has surpassed 500 million in monthly trading volume this December, averaging over 16 million daily, and the month isn't even over yet. Breaking our own records, the numbers speak for themselves. And yes, I mean, this is very significant to see the growth around the DeFi space. But listen, this is something that we have been talking about for a while happening. Hedera is so far, one of the most efficient chains out there for everything. We're not just talking about DeFi, we're talking about everything. So those efficiencies shine greatly once we start to see the big players jumping in and utilizing the actual network. And I think that right now, a lot of the retail sector that has been utilizing Hedera, even if it was just over the last month, they are seeing how efficient it actually is compared to Ethereum, compared to Solana, compared to any of these other major chains. And I do think that that's going to continue to shine on. Now, also over here, we have from its HBAR poll, breaking news for Hedera. For the second consecutive month, Hedera has shattered records for both total network volume and DeFi network volume in the same period. This marks a 2.85x increase in token volume and a 1.83 times growth in DeFi volume month over month, highlighting growing momentum within the Hedera ecosystem and increased trust in the DeFi sector. 2025 is shaping up to be an exciting year. Hello, future HBAR. And yes, these are the metrics that you should be looking into. I get it, right? We get caught up looking at the chart saying, all right, well, nothing's happening. I always say the momentum behind the actual network is what you should be looking into, because this is all pressure. It's just like those announcements that everyone says, all right, well, these announcements mean absolutely nothing. They do mean a lot to the network, to the project, to the actual underlying token, because it's all volume and value pushed through the network that is powered by the underlying token. So, as we do start to see these volumes really surging, that's when you also see the price surging. And I think that that's very clear by looking at the 1 year on just how big Hedera has become. But also stablecoin liquidity. It's continuing to grow. It quadrupled over the last 57 days on Hedera. We are now well over almost $40 million worth of stablecoin liquidity. It's crazy to me that, again, so many people are overlooking Hedera right now. This is becoming one of the biggest players in the space. Now, talking about this space, I do want to address the AI market. The AI market has become one of the biggest categories by not just market capitalization, but volume and interest. If we look at the all-time chart here, it's very clear that AI has become a massive narrative. In fact, it's become one of the largest narratives. There was a post over here from Frank DeGods, and we have AI mindshare at almost 50% of all crypto narratives. It's the story of the cycle. And yeah, if we look at AI, we could see that AI has overtaken basically everything. We're talking about meme coins. We're talking about DeFi. We're talking about gaming. We're talking about, basically everything. And why is this significant? Well, we know that 2025 is setting a major stage for AI. We have over here new. Trump wants to create the second industrial revolution in America, and he thinks crypto, AI, nanotech, biotech, and quantum tech could lead to a 4.5% economic growth and get us out of debt. This is from ex-CFTC chair on Fox, Chris Giancarlo. Check this out.
This is why I do think a crypto czar is critically important, because there's a lot of promises, as you mentioned, and they're across the board. It's not just the SEC chair does this. You need tax writers to make sure that the moratorium on capital gains taxes on U.S. crypto that he's promised is done. You're going to need the White House counsel's office to write the executive orders to end what they call choke point 2.0, the debanking of crypto. You're going to need somebody to run this crypto council.
And you think he'll do it?
Oh, I think he's committed to do it because it's part of his overall. Look, Trump wants to create the second industrial revolution in America.
And he thinks crypto is one of the pathways.
Part of it, well, along with nanotechnology, AI, quantum computing, biotechnologies. If we could go from where we've been the last few years, which resistance to innovation, to really furthering innovation, we might be able to get to that 4.5% growth rate and get us out of our debt. This is why I do think a crypto czar is critically important.
Now, as we do really look forward into 2025, yeah, we are about to see a completely different environment for crypto. We're also going to see a completely environment just around the entire US market as we do start to accept and adopt a lot of these new technologies. I mean, listen, if the US wants to become a leader around this space, then yeah, they are going to have to look into US-based companies that are pushing things forward, like Hedera. Hedera is absolutely killing the game right now, and it feels as though a lot of people are just not realizing what's about to happen in 2025. But on top of this, this is everywhere. This is the overall narrative that Trump is basically going to start to, begin the second industrial revolution in America utilizing these new technologies. Even over here, we have Trump combines AI and crypto in White House czar role, which, by the way, this is only going to continue to put a lot of spotlight on AI. We also have over here how Trump's AI crypto push would spur clean energy. This is from the Wall Street Journal. On top of this, we have over here from Fox News, Trump named several new White House picks to work on AI, crypto, and more. America First Patriots. Now, listen, if we're thinking about this, this is why AI has become such a massive narrative. On top of this, we have, companies like NVIDIA creating history. And we know in 2025, January specifically, the new 50 series comes out, which is all catered around AI. In fact, if you look at the marketing scheme around the 50 series, it's all focused on AI. So AI is going to become an even bigger narrative in 2025. And that's where Hedera kind of comes into picture. Because more so recently, Hedera just announced with Equity Labs the new AI use case. This is a huge use case. Everyone should be focused on this use case. And by the way, it's not just with Equity Labs. Remember that this is with NVIDIA and Intel. This is absolutely massive. Moving forwards, trust has to be at the center of AI models. That's why Equity Labs, NVIDIA, and Intel unveiled Verifiable compute on the Hedera consensus service. And we have, this is for enterprises. The HCS is at the heart of this entire use case. So when we're thinking about how big Hedera is going to be in 2025, in my opinion, it is going to be absolutely massive. And even over here, we have ChatGPT alone processes over 1 billion queries per day. Big shout to HBAR Tata for this. Model training, inference, decision-making, governance, auditing, digital identity, agents, bots, autonomous systems, humans, all anchored to Hedera via hardware-rooted trust provided by Intel and NVIDIA. Guys, it doesn't take much to think about this, all right? When we look at Intel, when we look at NVIDIA, these are two massive blue chip names that are behind almost every single enterprise process in the world. HBAR Tata is 100% correct here. Data isn't just the new oil. It is becoming a new currency. They're already looking at tokenizing data on chain. If we're thinking about all of this, right, it goes down the line when it comes to technology. It's not just AI, it's blockchain, it's DLT. All of this is tied into one another. Tokenization, all of it is tied together. AI with DLT is a powerhouse. It's a technology powerhouse. And if the US is serious about becoming basically a technology leader, the best way to do this is by embracing US-based companies like Hedera. But even over here, we have OpenAI is the biggest disappointment of the year. OpenAI faces serious risk beyond their control. First, the quality of these models have hit a wall. Game-changing improvements will come from private data like what Elon owns through X, not OpenAI. Second, Elon's massive NVIDIA cluster purchase and promise to buy 900,000 more puts him at the front of the line, consuming NVIDIA's attention. It'll be tough for others to keep up. And again, focus on NVIDIA there, but check this out.
Do you got a biggest flop, Chamath, this year?
Okay, this is going to be a controversial take. I think the biggest flop, I don't want to say it's a flop, but I think the biggest disappointment of this year to me was OpenAI. I'll tell you why. I think they are the most at risk, mostly because of things that are out of their control. So, number one, I think the quality of these models have hit a wall, and it's the folks that own private information, for example, what Elon owns through X, that is going to make the game changer in the quality of the models. Two, he's actually bought now not just the largest NVIDIA cluster, but he's promised to buy 900,000 more. Do you know what happens when you buy 100,000 and then promise to buy 900,000? Not only are you at the front of the line, you consume NVIDIA's attention. And what that means is it's going to be so hard for everybody else to get a hold of what they need, to train. I think it's a very tricky situation for those guys.
Now, listen, as we really think about what's happening, the entire AI, game is changing. But remember the focus here. The focus is also on the biggest companies that are driving the AI narrative. NVIDIA, Intel. Regardless of what's happening with OpenAI, NVIDIA is behind all of this. I think even this entire discussion here with Elon Musk, with OpenAI, we go back to HBAR. We go back to even this post, right? This is quoted by the HBAR Foundation. Moving forward, trust has to be at the center of AI models. This is why they unveiled Verifiable compute. And this is all based around enterprises. And you know what's crazy about all of this? Big shout to Zepsi. Hedera is also a part of the governing board of almost all of these big organizations. Like, for an example, this is the Linux Foundation's Decentralized, a project of the Linux Foundation, one of the largest open source communities in the world. They have over 110,000 plus participants across its meetups, held in 80 plus countries. And Hiro, or Hero if you will, the code base of Hedera is one of the core projects of this foundation. And when we look at all of the names on here, look at some of the biggest names out there in the world. These are enterprise companies. These are massive corporations, huge fintech companies, government organizations, payment processing networks. I mean, it's insane to me that more and more people can't realize what's happening here. We are about to witness one of the biggest shifts around technology in history. And this is why I focus on the connections that Hedera has, because enterprises are going to be the ones that are tapped in to this new use case, aka verifiable compute, because every single enterprise is going to be utilizing AI within their business flows. In fact, majority of them already do. And it's provided by two big names, NVIDIA and Intel. This is something that everyone needs to be focused on with Hedera. This is probably going to be one of the biggest narratives of 2025 as well. AI continues to become a huge center point for basically everything. We're not just talking about crypto. We're talking about even outside of crypto. So if we're thinking about that, AI is going to be a huge winner. Hedera having all of these big AI moves happening around it before we even jump into 2025 is going to be huge for HBAR's growth as well. So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on because more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord in the description below. And with that being said, guys, it's been Nick. Thanks for watching. Peace out.